Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we start the playoffs in the Cup Series. There you see we sit 16 points to the good coming in to this race here in Las Vegas. Chase Elliott, your last car in the playoffs. Our teammate Kyle Larson outside the cut line. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Jones both also outside the cut line. Bubba Wallace Jr. or Bubba Wallace is the last guy in going into the first round of the playoffs. But we set our sights towards Hailie Deegan's race first of all. The last race in the regular season for the Xfinity Series is Hailie is already locked into the playoffs with I believe 4 wins now, and she would start P5 in Las Vegas. So a very good qualifying effort from Hailie Deegan in the number 99 as they came across the line to start this race. Cole Custer was on the pole as Hailie started behind the 18 of Ryan Preece as they went down through turns 1 and 2 as they went down towards the back straightaway, and Hailie really wouldn't make up any ground really throughout this race at all. By the time we came to already the final lap of this race, she was still sitting here in P4 trying to pass the 18 of Ryan Preece for third, and this was really as far as she would get, just battling with these guys up here as she really didn't have to pass anyone or get passed by anyone, fortunately, as we went down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Making a move on the outside of Preece, Hailie Deegan would take the spot away as Cole Custer would come through to hold on to the victory in Las Vegas, as Hailie Deegan would come through to get third in the final race of the regular season here in the Xfinity Series. And Hailie Deegan also recently announced that she will not be returning to our team next season, as she is making another step forward. Once we go to the 2019 DLC next season, she will be moving up to the Cup Series. Therefore, we're going to be in search for a new driver. Primarily, our search is going to be a Truck Series driver. We've already in contact with some, so look forward to seeing who we put in the car next season in the 2019 DLC. But now as we set our focus over towards the Cup race, we're ready to get going in Vegas. Certainly need a solid race as we're only 16 points to the good, so certainly not the most comfortable. And you see Hailie Deegan is 14 to the good going into the playoffs in the Xfinity Series. But as we come towards Las Vegas in the Cup Series to our qualifying lap, we made it to the second session as I came across the line with a 30.841, and that was really about a tenth off of what I was capable of doing in the first round. But I figured maybe it would be enough as we came out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. I was trying to make another lap, but as we went down into turn 3, you see the 21 of Paul Menard, gets in my way, and I have to call it a lap, and we will qualify P13 for the first race of the playoffs here in Las Vegas.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for today's running of the South Point 400. Today marks the beginning of the 10-race Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. After a knockdown, drag-out regular season, only 16 drivers still have a shot at NASCAR's greatest prize. The final road to glory starts here at this 1.5-mile tri-oval located just 15 miles north of the Vegas Strip. So, grab a chair and we'll deal you in. It's time for NASCAR playoff racing on PRN.
All right, we are ready to go green here in Las Vegas. Denny Hamlin on the pole, Clint Bowyer on the outside front row. Ryan Blaney didn't have a good practice session. He was the first guy to miss the playoffs going into Vegas now as we get ready to go green from the 13th place position. So not a great start, but it's going to be good enough, hopefully, to help me get forward. As we are green and the playoffs are underway, our second playoff appearance in the Cup Series in my second season now, as we cross the line to start this first lap as Denny Hamlin leads us down into turns 1 and 2 for the first time as Bowyer leads that outside front row. And Bowyer has been running pretty strong recently as he did just win the Brickyard 400 in the last episode. Now as we come down the back straightaway, looking to the inside already of Jimmy Johnson as we head down into turn 3, getting to his left rear, but I let off a little bit early, allowing him to get clear as he will slide down as we move into P11 here, gaining 2 positions so far on the first lap. Now as we come through the tri-oval to cross the line and complete this first lap, we will take Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick 3 wide as we head down into turns 1 as well, trying to get to the left rear maybe of Alex Bowman, but I have to check up pretty early. And as we now come out of turn 2, we build up a pretty large run down the back straightaway, looking to the inside of the 88 and the 22 of Bowman and Logano, taking them 3 wide down the straightaways. They also go 3 wide behind us as we head down into turn 3. Kurt Busch approaches my back bumper in his last season in the 41 car before he takes over my position next season in the 2019 DLC as we come through the tri-oval to move up to P7 within the first 2 laps. So gaining a good bunch of positions, and by the time we came to lap 4, we were looking to the outside of Almirola, now in the top 5 actually, behind the 2 of Keselowski, the 18 of Busch, as we try to make this middle lane work behind the 2 of Keselowski, with Almirola on my inside as we come through the trial to complete the 4th lap, as Martin Truex Jr., I believe it was, leading right now as we head down into turns 1, clearing Almirola, looking to the inside of Keselowski, but unable to get on his inside and up beside him now as we come to lap 9, still in the same position as we head down into turns 1. And as we come through the center of the corner, I know we have pretty decent speed on the exit of the corner, so that should allow me to close the gap a little bit between myself and the 2 of Keselowski now as we come towards turns 3. But Greg Galding has an issue early on, and he blows the right front tire, and into the wall he goes. And Greg Galding is going to cause the first incident of the day as the 43 of Bubba Wallace gets into the back of him, and the caution would fly early on here in Las Vegas, setting us up for an outside line restart behind the 18 of Kyle Busch, with Truex leading us to the green flag. As the green is back down, we are once again underway in Las Vegas on the back bumper of the 18 of Kyle Busch, giving him a little bit of a shove as we head down towards turn 1. Almirola behind me with my teammate Kyle Larson behind him as we head down into the first turn. Kyle Busch even with the 78 of Martin Truex Jr., but Truex looking like he's going to edge ahead as we side by side with the 2 of Keselowski down the back straightaway now, pushing the 18 once again as we head down into turn 3, trying to make this middle lane work on this AI, but it's certainly not prevailing right now as we come through the center of the corner, going way wide, but fortunately we maintain position as we come through the trial to complete the first lap since the restart, as we battle alongside the 14 of Clint Boyer now as we head down into turns 1. Kurt Busch trying to get to my inside, as well as we're stuck behind the 18 of Kyle Busch as we come through turns 2. He drifts up the track, and we're going to go 3 wide up the middle between the 2 Busch brothers down the back straightaway as we head down into turns 3. Truex continues to lead over second place Brad Keselowski, and now third place of Clint Boyer as we try to look to his inside, just barely touching him on the left rear, now getting to his inside through the trial as we come through to cross the line, now taking P3 just about away from Clint Boyer as we head down into turns 1 now as Keselowski looks to the inside of Truex as we kind of overshoot the corner, allowing Boyer back to my inside now as we come out of turn 2, making a little bit of contact on his right rear as they're side by side up ahead for the lead, as we're having really good racing here in this first stage as we head down now into turns 3 as Boyer tries to clear me but not able to do so just yet as Keselowski is clear for the lead over Martin Truex Jr. as we come through the trial with hit 5 laps to go in stage 1. And as we head down into turns 1, still side by side with the 14 of Boyer as he's going to maybe move up the track a little bit now. He's not. He's going to go side by side with the 78 as he does move up, and that allows the 41 of Kurt Busch to look to his inside as I had to get out of the throttle, and that would hurt my momentum as we would stay in the 5th position by the time we came to 2 to go in the stage. Keselowski, he lost the lead, falling back to 4th now as Boyer battled with his teammate of Kurt Busch for the lead, and Kurt Busch won this race earlier this season as he tries to do so again to lock himself into the next round, but now he's just going for a stage victory as we look to the inside of Keselowski as we are coming to the white flag in this first stage now on his inside as we come out of turn 4 side by side with the 2 of Brad Keselowski as we come across the line. The white flag in stage 1 is out. Kurt Busch is clear for the lead as we head down into turns 1 as we move back into the 4th position as Keselowski is going to battle back on my outside, and we're going to have to be a little bit careful trying to not make contact with him as we come down the back straightaway, still side by side with the 2 of Keselowski for the final time into turns 3 and 4 in this first stage. Kurt Busch in command as it looks like he is going to be able to hang on for the stage 1 victory as we finally clear the 2 of Keselowski for 4th, and we will come through the trial where Kurt Busch wins the first stage, and we will get P4, which will give us a good amount of points, which will certainly help me when it comes to later in this round if we need these points to make the next round. Hopefully we'll be okay, and we can afford to maybe make a few mistakes here and there because we got Richmond coming up and the Roval, but we would take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires and a restart in 7th for the second stage as 3 cars stayed out, putting us down to the 7th position. Bubba Wallace, Harrison Rhodes, and Ty Dillon all stayed out. Those are the 3 cars who did not pit as we go green, and stage 2 is underway alongside the 2 of Brad Keselowski again as we head down towards turn 1. I look at this as an opportunity. Certainly the faster cars of Boyer and Kurt Busch are likely going to get held up here now as we head down through turns 1 and 2. A chance to look to the inside of the 14, but I decided to play my cards pretty safe now as we come down the back straightaway, just riding right now behind the 14 14 of Clint Boyer as we head down into turn 3. Bubba Wallace clear for the lead. He is in the playoffs, so it makes sense why he would make this type of gamble as we come down the front straightaway. This time looking to the inside of Clint Boyer, making a 3 wide with him and his Stuart Haas Racing teammate of Kurt Busch as we head down towards turn 1. Bubba Wallace trying to pull away as we look to the inside of the 51. But he stays clear for the moment as we continue to battle 3 wide with the 41 and the 14. But out of turn 2, we will look to the inside of the 51 and the 13, making it 3 wide with them as Hamlin also follows through. But we will move into the second position as we head down in to turn 3 just about. But Ty Dillon's actually going to continue to fight. But on the exit of the corner, we are able to pull away and ahead of him to finally move into second and set our sights on the 43 car, Bubba Wallace, who obviously that's not a car that's very fast. So I was very confident we could get up to him and take the lead as we head down into turns 1. He leaves that inside open, but he decides to cover it through the center of the corner. But he moves up the track, and I take advantage and fill that gap. And we come out of turn 2, taking the lead, and now in command in Las Vegas as we head down into turn 3. The leader finally, I don't know if we've ever led at this track, but we are now leading in turns 3 and 4, trying to pull away from these cars behind me as Boyer is going to have to work his way through this traffic. And by the time we came to lap 8 of 17 in the second stage, Boyer did get past the slower cars, and he would move into second as we continue to lead with 9 to go in the second stage. And at this point, I'm just trying to manage the car and not really screw up now, as we have just over we have a 9/10 lead, so not over a second. So it's just under a second lead over the 14 of Clint Boyer as we head down into turn 3. But I really wasn't too concerned. I know on older tires, we're not going to have the speed against the AI that I need, but hopefully we don't have any cautions to close up the field as we come through to hit 8 laps to go in this second stage. And by the time we came to lap 14 of 17, they started closing the gap on me a bit with just 3.5 laps to go in this second stage now. And as we come down the back straightaway, looking at 3 to go when we hit the line, but it's going to end early as stage 2 is ended early by a caution, and we will win the stage with a playoff point. I could not figure out, I could not find in the replays what caused that caution, but either way, we get a playoff point. We would take 2 cans of fuel. It says right tires there, but I would actually change it to 4 tires. And fortunately, the AI would also take 4 tires. So we would start P1 for this final stage as we get ready to go green, and it is back out. We are underway for the final stage in Las Vegas. Now, the 2 of Keselowski starting on my back bumper. It is 29 laps in this final stage. We should be very close on fuel at the moment as we head down into turns 1 and 2, protecting that bottom line as we don't want to give that up, as Keselowski is going to look to the outside line on the exit of the corner. I'm going to let him have that outside line as he's going to come side by side down the back straightaway as we head down into turns 3, as he's going to make a power move to the lead, and Keselowski is going to come down in front of me as we try to stay on his inside, but unable to do so as Brad Keselowski makes a strong power move around the outside to take the lead on the first lap in this final stage. Now as we come across the line heading down into turns 1, falling back obviously to second as we try to look to his inside, but unable to do so, as Keselowski certainly showing some speed here late in this race as we come down the back straightaway all over his back bumper as we try to make a move to his outside going into turn 3, but we fall back behind in line in front of the 78 of Truex, certainly looking like the 2, myself, and maybe the 78 could be the strongest cars right now in this final stage, so we might be the ones racing it out for the victory as we have just 27 laps to go now in this final stage. And we were certainly showing more speed than I expected. We usually don't run this good at this racetrack now as we come through turns 1 and 2, closing on the back of Keselowski down the back straightaway, but he is very protective. He's making sure that I don't make a move to his inside as we come down into turn 3. Truex behind me. I believe he has Denny Hamlin behind him as we go a little bit wide on the exit of the corner, allowing the 2 to just pull away just a tiny bit out now as we come through the trial. We're closing that gap back up, and by the time we came to 25 to go, looking now to the inside of Keselowski as we head down into turns 1, trying to take the lead away as Truex is right on my back bumpers. We have still not gotten away from him as we come down the back straightaway side by side with the 2. We have battled with Brad Keselowski multiple times already throughout this race, and now we battle for the lead as we head down into turn 3. Keselowski staying in the fight on the outside line. If I could just clear him, we'll be in good shape, but he stays on my right rear as we come through the trial. We'll cross the line using that apron to try and clear him, but unable to do so as we rejoin on the track now, heading into turns 1 and up. Behind us, we have trouble. The 12 of Blaney blows the tire, and Jimmy Johnson, a playoff driver, involved as we have the 12 of Blaney in the background flipping over as we have a violent crash now down in turns 1 and 2, and that would bring out the caution, and Keselowski actually just pulled ahead of me before the caution came out, as Jimmy Johnson, a playoff contender, involved in that crash. It didn't look like he had too much damage, but that certainly could be a setback for him as we get ready to go green once again, and the green flag is back out. We are underway once again in Las Vegas with just 21 laps to go on the outside line, trying to power ahead of the 2 of Keselowski as we head down into turns 1. Hopefully we stay green till the end, as we don't want to wear our tires and then have some cautions towards the end of this race as we come through turns 1 and 2, making a little bit of contact with the 2 of Keselowski as he will pull ahead down the back straightaways to hit the wall on the exit of turn 2, making a simple mistake there that I really shouldn't have made as we head down into turn 3, allowing the 42 of our teammate Larson to look to my inside as he gets into my left rear, pushing me up the track now as he moves into third, as he hasn't really run that great this season. Now as we come through the trial, we'll cross the line. 20 laps remain in Las Vegas now, alongside the 22 of Joey Logano, as Keselowski and Truex battle it out for the lead as we continue to fight alongside that 22 of Logano through turns 1 and 2 as we come down the back straightaway, though falling ahead as we look to the inside of our teammate Kyle Larson, trying to move back into the top 3 as we head down into turn 3. Truex all over the back bumper now of Brad Keselowski as we exit turn 4 back into P3, though, as we have a chance to run these front 2 back down and be a part of this battle for the victory with just 19 laps to go now in this race. Certainly running out of time pretty quick as we come through turns 1 and 2, and I decided to try and run the middle line because it certainly worked the last time around as we were able to pass our teammate Kyle Larson using that middle line alongside the 22 Joey Logano. So I gave it a shot and it didn't seem like it would work very well, so I immediately got back down to the bottom here through turns 3 and 4, and that's kind of what we stuck with throughout the rest of this race. And by the time we came to lap 54, Truex passed Keselowski for the lead as we joined the party through turns 3 and 4. It's just us 3 now as we have a substantial gap between ourselves and 4th place and on back as we come through the tri-oval, coming to just 13 laps to go at this point in the race as Keselowski tries to retake the lead over Truex as we head down into turns 1. But Truex is going to shut the door on Keselowski now as we come out of turn 2. He leaves the gap open again, but Keselowski doesn't have the momentum. But I have a large run down the back straightaway. Keselowski goes protective, and I jump to the outside as we head down into turns 3, trying to make a pass on the 2 of Keselowski, making that middle line work through the center of the corner, but the exit of the corner just isn't strong enough as we once again get cleared by the 2 of Keselowski as we come across the line to hit 12 to go, trying to give him a little bit of a bump as we head down into turns 1, looking to his outside again, but that time I got a little too close to his right rear and we had to back out of it as he looks to the inside once again of the 78 of Truex as they continue to battle side by side for the lead down the back straightaway, but Truex might be just clear, and he is as we go down into turns 3 as he continues to hang on to the lead. By the time we came to 3 laps to go, still in the same exact situation, but this time my right front tire was really worn and going away, so I was certainly having to back up my entrance on the corner and really just kind of survive through the entrance and the center, and it was really costing me some time. So really at this point we're just hoping that the 2 and the 78 get side by side. As you saw for a brief moment, my right front is at 37%, so certainly at this point just hanging on, and as we hit 2 laps to go in Las Vegas, the first playoff race is just about over as Keselowski tries to find a way past the 78 of Truex. As you can see just how much my car is now falling off late in the final moments of this race here in Las Vegas as we come down the back straightaway, heading down into turn 3. The white flag will be in the air this time by as Truex tries to hang on, last season's champion, as he is now a 2-time champ. He wants to solidify his position into the next round as we come through to cross the line. The white flag is in the air in Las Vegas. 1 lap to go as we head down into turns 1 as Truex looks like he's opening up a gap between himself and Keselowski, as it looks like he will be in command as we come down the back straightaway for the final time here in Las Vegas as we try to close in, but obviously way too far back to make something happen as we head down into turn 3. Keselowski runs that middle line, but it's not going to work now as we come through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, very tight off the corner. Martin Truex Jr. will lock himself into the round of 12 with a victory in Las Vegas as we will come through to finish in the 3rd position. Certainly a very good finish for our team to start this playoffs. Obviously, we got a stage 1 victory, or a stage 2 victory, as well as Truex, like I said, locked into the next round as Jimmy Johnson would get 19th out of that incident that he had earlier. And Brendan Gaughan would finish dead last, 34 laps down, so not a good effort for him, as we would obviously bring home a good large amount of money now, $69 million. And the playoff grid there, you see it, Bubba Wallace, the last guy in the playoffs right now. Chase Elliott, 13 points out. It says 11, but he's actually 13 out. Oh, no, sorry, he is 11 out. And Stenhouse is just a couple points out, along with Almirola, as Johnson holds the last playoff spot right now. So we'll see if he can hang on for the rest of this round. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated now, as we have a lot of drivers happy with us. Jimmy Johnson maybe could have finished better, and he was a part of that incident, which certainly set him back. So will he be able to rebound in the next episode? We'll have to wait and see, as we will start the Xfinity Series playoffs and continue the midway point of our Cup Series playoffs. So I would like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos, as we sit 42 points to the good. So in good position going into the next episode. So I will see you guys in the next episode in Richmond. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.